course. No. Okay. Sorry about that, friends. I'm having troubles with Twitch being Twitch. So I'm just gonna get started with just chilling. So we're just gonna get started with some crochet because I have this to finish, which is my mom's not birthday present. Oh, thank God, that would be really late. Christmas present, which I haven't finished because I ran out of yarn like 3/4 of the way through it. So I had this much yarn left, and I went, oh fuck. So this is what we have so far. So we just chilling. So I crochet weird apparently, so you're gonna see that. Everyone who comes in tells me that I crochet weird. Just fun. In a little bit we're gonna oh, I forgot to turn down there we go. I apologize. I did not mean to overpower myself with that music. But in a little bit we'll start knitting. But I want to get at least a little bit of this done first. Just chillaxing, crocheting. Normally I'd just be doing this while watching Netflix. Jeopardy, maybe. God, forgot how much this old webcam really, really just washes out my face. So I'm using my beautiful new webcam on the action. On the action. The crochet action. The important stuff. I'm really glad my mom was like, oh, because I didn't finish it in time to send it with everyone else's Christmas presents. So instead I took a picture of it and sent it to her, and she's like, oh, that's my favorite red right now. I was like, oh, good. I was kind of afraid she wouldn't like it. Especially when she told me I called her at one point before Christmas, and she was joking around. And then your sister was like, gonna get me a scarf. And I was like, I don't need any more scarves. And I was like, you don't need any more scarves. But it's okay. She's coming to visit me here, I'm in Colorado. And she lives in California. She's coming to visit me starting this weekend, and it is very cold here right now. I'm like, you're gonna need the scarf. She's like, should I bring scarves? And I was like, I mean, I'm making you one. Don't have to bring a bunch. I'm literally making you one. But, you know, red doesn't go with everything. It just goes with a lot of things. It's just an infinity scarf, so it doesn't have to be very long. Which is nice. I'm not gonna lie, I specifically chose a slightly larger hook so that I didn't have to make it very wide either. It's a double crochet. I never do triple crochet stitches unless I have to. Way too much effort. It's just it's a K. It's a K hook, so it looks huge. And I'm actually doing the full double crochet instead of just a half double. So I'm like, I really want to get this done quickly. What blanket. I am so behind on my temperature blanket though. I know, I love this color too. This color is actually from my temperature blanket. We only had 4 days over 100 degrees this year. So I had basically an entire skein left over. So I was like, oh, my mom loves this color. I'll make her a scarf out of it. But of course, those 4 rows of 225 stitches was a lot. Unsurprisingly. So ended up using a lot more yarn than I expected. So I was unable to finish this. But like I said, I got about 3/4 of the way through it, so very quickly getting to the end of this yarn. Thank goodness for coupons at Michael's though. I ended up spending, I think, all together, all of my family's gifts this year cost me $20 because I made all of them. Except for one person who I bought something for, and his is what bumped it up. That's it. Ah! Okay. Back it up. Back it up. That's what I thought. Oh, no, it's not what I thought. That one goes here. You pull out. There we go. Put that over there. It's a very nice color. It's just, my mom loves reds and golds and stuff. So. And I made my sister last year an infinity scarf just like this, but teal. And I made myself one just like this. Yes, good girl. You're a good girl. But green like 5 years ago. So now we get to be matching. Matching. I just almost tried to do a single stitch because I was like super focused on trying to get this end in there. There we go. I hope she wants some of the cat hair woven in. She likes the cat, it's fine. She'll love the cat hair. Just, you know, lovingly add it in. It's fine. There we go. Just watching someone double crochet that wasn't super interesting, I understand, but it's fun. And I have to get it done because she gets in on Sunday and I haven't finished it. It'll be easy to finish if I just sit down and do it, especially if I just watch Jeopardy. Jeopardy is my crochet, it's just what I do. Ever since I was a kid, sit down, watch Jeopardy, crochet. You know? Oh shoot, my tea. I'm gonna have to reboil that water because I never. Amazing, I'm so smart. What? Boiled water, like 15, 20 minutes ago. Oh, 25 minutes ago at this point, actually. Good job, Rissa. So I've got to reboil that water, otherwise that tea will not be. It's just been sitting there in the kettle, cooling down. Okay, crazy. Stream cat is running around. She got her food, so she's like, it's time to be just crazy. Just time to go nuts. As you do. Kind of sounds like she just ran into something in the next room, so love it. How are we liking this playlist music? It's called Chill on Pretzel. Doesn't sound very chill, I have to admit. It's very suspenseful right now. I feel like I'm like sneaking into some sort of sacred temple. You know? She's just going crazy, it's fine. Are you done? Are you good there? Something is outside the window and it's very upsetting. It's just... I should totally be wearing my compression gloves. Oh well. Did I? No, Rissa, that's just where you wove in. Come on, pay attention. You good? Yeah? Was it interesting out there? Maybe? No? Did you have fun? She's like, no. Oh, stretch. I would show you guys the cat, but my entire setup is very precarious at the moment because this is not a setup that's actually meant to do this kind of thing. Not that I care, because I'm doing it anyway. I move too fast for 30 frames per second, apparently. Just too fast. Obviously, I need to be streaming at 60 FPS. Actually. Gonna sit there now. She's just gonna judge me. Stare longingly at my yarn from down on the floor. Just be like, how could you keep this from me? How could you? When I was doing my granny streams on the couch, she would come sit on the edge of the couch with me and just like watch my yarn.
Listen.
She does in fact like my yarn. I'm gonna turn the music down again. So she's not super into it like other cats I've had. Like, I've had cats who are like obsessed with my yarn while I'm doing stuff. But she's not. She's usually pretty respectful about my yarn. Which is weird to say about a cat, but true. She'll be respectful about it if I'm actually doing something. But if I leave it somewhere and I'm not touching it, she's like, huh, that's fair game. That's a toy right there. I'm like, it is not. It is not a toy, kitty. My grandma's cat. Last year I went back home for Christmas to visit my family. And I was knitting my dad a scarf. And I had to bring it home with me. I didn't finish it before I got home. And I was knitting it and my grandma's cat was just like so obsessed. I had to stop knitting it out in the open. I had to only knit it in the guest room. Because the cat was just, she was so, like, she was attacking it while I was knitting. I have a really cute picture of it, actually. No, I won't try to bring it up. It's really cute, though. I'll post it later, maybe. On Twitter. Or, because it really was just adorable. Or on Instagram, maybe. Maybe tomorrow for throwback. I have no clue what day of the week it is. It's Wednesday, right? Yes, it's Wednesday. It's been a while. Hey, love. Could you grab me the green scarf? Oh yeah, on the pillow, I guess. Back pillow. Oof. The original scarf that I have been using as my length, my ruler to see how long it needs to be. So. If I do this row, I'll do that. Then I'll finally pour my tea. Because it finished boiling again. I need to actually pour it this time. I have something hot to drink because it's freezing. I'm so cold. Just so cold. What? What? She's like, well, I don't know. But yeah, there used to be like the Twitch music library, used to be like on Spotify and SoundCloud and stuff, and it disappeared completely, so. And I was like, I have no clue what to do now. That's why it took me so long to go live. It's like, I don't want to just have my regular music be going because it's not royalty free. So I'll just have entire parts of the VOD completely muted. And it's like I'm just crocheting, so like I know it doesn't matter, but at the same time I don't want us to get like a copyright strike or something on accident. You know what I mean? Just better safe than sorry. Let's see how much of the scarf I have left to do. And then we're gonna actually do the infinity thing this time, which I haven't done the last few times. Where instead of just having it be one long loop, you twist it so that when you actually put it on, it untwists and fits around you perfectly. So, very excited about that. Okay, so let's see. Wow. So, it doesn't matter if a crochet hook comes out, so it doesn't. It just goes right back in. One side to one side. Rissa, are you using a pattern? No, because why would I need a pattern to just do a straight line? Ugh. That still have quite a bit left. Still like 8 inches left. Okay. I'm gonna go put my tea on. I'll do a couple more rows of this. Herbs. Okay. After my tea's done, that's when I'll start knitting. Ooh. Knitting over here too. The tags. Okay, there we go. Come on, you silly. You silly thing. Adjust the brightness. Ah, whatever. I should go through and make my own playlist on this site at some point, because I've no clue what any of these songs are. They're all just kind of not quite the sound I'm looking for, you know? But oh well. Beggars can't be choosers. Again, cat hair. Ah, you get out of there. I'm usually pretty good about this. Making sure cat hair doesn't get in my works. But... Yo! You did it, Al! Thanks for the sub. I just realized I don't have my follow thing up on this screen. So give me 1 second. I'll do my... That's right over here. Smaller. 1 second. There you go. An entire year. An entire year. Fantastic. So exciting. How does it feel? I was very excited to realize that we've been affiliates for an entire year. When we got our little magnifying glass on our own name, I was like, aw, how nice. Little 12. And that's my tea. I can't wait until I'm done with this row. Then I'm going to start my Secret of the Shadow Ranch themed shawl. Tea smells good. I'm making hibiscus tea. I like hibiscus tea a lot. It is definitely cold enough for tea here. It is fucking freezing. It actually warmed up quite a bit today. It was in the 40s today. I was pretty happy about that. I was able to wear just my wool socks instead of my big thermal socks. I was like, aw yeah. Yeah, you could probably cold brew some peppermint tea. Okay, so putting this to the side, go grab my tea, and then we're gonna knit. Verbs. Ooh. I'm sorry you hate it there. I wish I could be somewhere warm. There we go. Okay, so this is the yarn I have. That's what I have, a bunch left over from a baby blanket. So that's what we're using, because I wasn't gonna buy any extra yarn. There we go. Sit on this foot so that I can get feeling back into it. Cold feet. Okay. So I have size 8 needles. I'm gonna work on a daisy stitch. The thing about the daisy stitch is you have to have multiples of 4 plus 1. So I'm going to make a shawl. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have it be probably about this size. So we're going to want it about this length, which you guys can't see, but it'll be nice and good. So I want to have a nice long tail, which is this guy. So I'm gonna go nice long tail. The cat is like, Then I'm gonna make a slip knot. And then I'm going to boop. And now we're gonna count. And we're gonna try and fit a bunch on here. So thankfully our slip knot counts as 1 stitch. So counts as 1. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So when you're casting on, you hold your needle like this. You go through, around, back through, and drop. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Through, and drop. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Go, 11. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. That's like 40. I'm gonna probably want like 81 now that I'm looking at this. We might get away with 61. So that's 40. Okay. 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60. Let's do 65. 61, 62, 63, 64, 65. So the thing about the daisy stitch is it's broken up into 4. Well, let's get a piece of paper. It's broken up into 4 different, here's a piece of paper, rows. So rows 1 and 3 are the easy ones. So I'm gonna write down so I don't get lost in the pattern. I have a row 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'll just tally when I get to each one. That's how I do things at least. So row 1 and 3 are easy peasy. They are just knit all the way across, which I will show in a second after I have some tea. Listen to some slip knot while I knit. Okay, make sure our tail is out of the way because we don't want to accidentally use the tail. So that guy's out of here. So I stick him in, go around, bring it through, and then I toss them off, and then tighten it back, and I do it again. Sticking through, around, pull it through, and off. Through, around, back, and off. Through, around, back, and try that one again. Sometimes it gets caught. Around, and off. So, I always cast on way too tight, because of course I do. What don't I put too much pressure in? Don't we all put too much tension in everything nowadays? Aren't we all stressed? Especially when I'm using metal needles, I tend to be really bad about my tension. Which is bad, especially for the daisy stitch. Because in the daisy stitch, you really want to be a little looser, otherwise it's really hard to do the fancy bit. Oof, come on. It says old yarn too, so it's splitting for me. Which says, of course it is. Hey. Come on. I was having to remind myself of how to do this stitch earlier. So I did like probably 5 inches or so of it. And then I took it out because I was like, oh, there's no reason to already have it started, right? I want to get it started on stream and have it nice and, you know, long. The actual size you would need to start for a shawl of some sort. And so I unraveled it, and then my boyfriend came in to the bedroom, and I was like, oh, I want to show you what I did. So I just showed him the empty knitting needles. Like, my brain was like, yes, I knit something. Look, needles. And he was like, nice. I'm like, yes, nice. My brain is working. This nail is just angry. Keeps getting caught on the yarn. I don't want it to. Keep moving it back, otherwise you'll have it just bunch up on the needle. Just like you gotta pull this up and bunch it up, otherwise it'll stretch out and you'll hurt your hand. Well, I'll hurt my hand. I don't think normal people hurt their hands really while they're knitting, but I know I do, so that's why I do what I do. It's like if you ever look at me and you're like, wow, it looks like she's holding her knitting needles weird, or it looks like she's crocheting weird. Because I have to do it like that so that I don't hurt myself. when I'm just knitting the entire row, I don't have to worry about gaining or losing a stitch. But it's because I've been knitting for a while. But if you haven't been knitting for a while, after every row you should count to make sure. I still count after rows that I do fancy things or anything. Like, I'll count after I do the daisy stitch. Because I want to make sure I didn't fuck it up. Because I have been known to fuck it up, especially when I'm on stream. I'm trying to make sure things are in camera. Make sure things are... The stream is still working. Also trying to knit. So it does tend to get a little... I miss things.
Like a broken soul in a wonderland without angels. That is how I feel when the mirror.
Are you leaving me now? She says she's done with me. Stream cat is like, you're boring. And you know what? I can't really fault her. Okay, so row 1 is just completely knit all the way. Okay, so, however, row 2, let me just write down that I did row 1. So I remember. Okay, so row 2, we're gonna go knit 1. This is where things get fun, which I enjoy. The daisy stitch is really like satisfying when you're done with it, in my opinion. I don't know, maybe I'm weird. So knit 1, make sure every time between a knit and a purl. So my knit leaves my yarn back here behind the needles. For a purl, I need my yarn to be in front of my needles. Every single time you have to do that. So now I'm gonna purl 3 together. However, I'm not just gonna purl them together and take them off, because then we'll start losing stitches. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna act like I'm gonna purl them all together. This is where you're gonna be like, Rissa, you did this too tight, and I'm gonna be like, you are correct. Too tight. So, I'm gonna act like I'm gonna purl them all together. Yarn over, right, to purl. Instead of taking them all the way off, I pull the yarn through, I yarn over, and then I pull it back through and purl for reals this time. And take all 3 off. So, yarn back over so it can be behind. So I knit, and then I did the purl 3 together, but I still have 3 stitches there. Now I'm gonna yarn back over to the back because I'm gonna knit again. I'm gonna do the exact same thing the rest of the row. The same thing. I'm gonna knit 1, well, technically you knit 1, and then that's on its own, right? Everything else is gonna be purl through together with the yarn over, then really purl them together, then you knit. So that's what we're gonna do the entire row, and we're gonna end up with the same amount of, we're still gonna end up with 65 on here, yeah? Hopefully. If I don't mess it up. So. 3. Oh, Rissa. Pull it through, yarn, pull it through, then actually purl it, and take it off. And then remember, every single time to pull that yarn back around, because if you don't pull this yarn back around, you're gonna add stitches. And adding stitches is as bad as losing stitches in knitting. Oh, come on, that was ugly. Sometimes it gets caught. There we go. Let's do it again. 3 at a time. 1, 2, 3. Hard to do this on camera. Sorry. Pull them through. Yarn. And pull it off. So the daisy stitch is really good for things like, it looks really nice as hats. You can do mittens and stuff, slippers. There are some really good patterns out there. So, you know, if this is something where you're looking at it and you're like, wow, that seems really easy or fun, it is. It is easy once you get the hang of it, as long as you don't have hands that like to kill you. Like, you see how mine is like doing that? It's because I should have ring splints, but I don't. Should have talked to my rheumatologist about that, but she was already overwhelmed with me. She was like, so you'll start seeing what makes it look like a daisy after the 4th row, really, but there we go. This is why you shouldn't do it too tight, or you have issues like me. Like, really? I don't know how other people do it where they don't have terrible tension like I do. I'm like, how do you not just keep way too much tension? Sorry. Okay. I have some friends who can do all this like super fast too. And I'm like, if I did this super fast, I'd dislocate my hands. I would literally just dislocate fingers if I tried to do it super fast, this stitch. But it still looks super nice, I have to say. Come on. So we're currently looking at the wrong side. So that's what it looks like right now. But we're looking at the wrong side, that's the right side. But once we get to row 3, you'll start seeing more of what it looks like. But I am slow right now. Mostly because I knit that last row way too tight. So I'm having some difficulties doing this row. I'm a dum-dum, you know? That happens sometimes. Sometimes you're just like knitting faster, and you're just like not paying attention, so your tension gets too high. And you're like, welp. There we go. And off. And we knit. Seems like knitting isn't the best hobby for someone with bonitis. It normally is. My hands are really cold right now. So they're a little angry, I have to admit. Come on. It's silly. Just one more. There we go. So soft. Well, this is baby blanket yarn, which is why it's so soft. I have a bunch of yarn left over from a couple friends. I made them baby blankets, and they wanted colors that have nothing to do with anything else I make. So now I'm just like, don't know what to do with the rest of this yarn. So I'm doing this. I'm doing. This coral, not exactly the color many of my friends wear. I was planning, oh, I'll just make something else for the baby. But both friends who I made those blankets for have barely used the blanket, so I'm like, then why would I make them anything else? You know? I spent all that time making them blankets and that they are just like not even caring about. For I've said now, the only people who get baby blankets in the future are going to be my sister, really, if she has a baby. She's the only one. Everyone else is ungrateful. Those were some pretty blankets, too. Are you gonna wear coral, Al? This beautiful coral color? Oh, come on. Come on, you stupid... There we go. So, when we get to the end of this, we should just get one knit at the very end of the row. That'll be if I did this correctly, and I think I have. Nice. Yeah, there's 8 left. Perfect. Next row, I will try to not knit so bloody tight. Don't know if you have anything that matches the coral. Then I'll just continue making this shawl with it instead. And then at the end, knit 1. Very nice. There we go. That is row 2. Wrong side, and that is what the right side looks like. And we will continue on the right side in a second. I'm tallying. I have to, otherwise I forget. So I'm a forgetful binch. Hibiscus. So warm my hands up for a second. Okay. Okay, and now we just knit all the way across again. Knit, knit, knit. So rows 1 and 3, just knit all the way across. You guys can kind of start seeing where the kind of daisy stitches. It really doesn't want to focus on this yarn. It's just like, nah, this yarn I don't want to focus on. Whatever. I'll just count them all after this row. Two, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. Twenty-nine, 30, 31, 32, 30, whew, 3, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, perfect. Ah, fuck. There we go. Got slippy. There we go. Okay, so that was 3. So 4 is pretty much just like 2, except it's offset. So instead of immediately going knit and then into the purl 3 together, we're gonna go knit 1, purl 1, knit 1. I'm gonna go knit 1. I always have to switch between purl 1, then knit 1. Now I purl the 3 together. On the way. So I just offset it by 3, basically. That way that they're not completely lining up. They're offset. 1, 2, 3. So as you can see, rows 1 and 3 take way less time than 2 and 4. So they don't have any fiddly bits. And then you just go knit 1. So the rest of this is the same as row 2. So you do the purl 3 together with the yarn over, and then you do knit 1, and then you just do it all over again. And when we're done with this row, I'll show you, and it looks really nice. See though, I didn't knit the last row together as tightly, so it's easier for me to get in with the purl 3 this time. So it's not going to take as long. See? You really get that nice daisy stitch look to it. Even more so after we do row 5. No, these are all really tight. Oof. Oof. gosh. I remember when I was a kid, I used to knit so fast. How did that happen? Where did that go? Crocheting I can still do quickly, but where did knitting go? Just need to do it more. You know? Get the muscle memory back. The bonitis. That is true. My joints have gotten worse. Though I always had really hypermobile fingers when I was a kid. I always had teachers yelling at me for using my pencils wrong. They're like, you're just using it wrong. You're not trying. No, my fingers are just collapsing. I'm trying to hold it like you want me to hold it. I just literally cannot. Did anyone else have that happen? Get in trouble for holding their pen wrong? It seems like one of those things that you shouldn't like get in trouble for. You know? I did not stab the other children. I wasn't holding it that wrong. Well, here, I'll show you in a second. I still can't hold a pencil like they always wanted us to hold pencils. So they want you to hold a pencil like this, but I can't hold a pencil like this. I have to hold it like this. This is how I have to hold it. But my fingers do this. That's the only way I can grip it. So they would get mad at me and I'd get in trouble. Because I was supposed to be holding it like... What is it? Like this or something? I can't even remember. But that's how I have to hold it. I mean, like, it's funny, like, I complain, but at least, like, in my parents' lifetime, they were still getting, like, they were just young enough to not be told not to be left-handed. Like, my dad's mom had the left-handedness beat out of her in school. So... like, really, I'm lucky. I'm not left-handed, but my sister is. So, it's crazy the kind of things where what they do in schools. They're like, if you don't do it exactly like this, then you're wrong. And it's like, shouldn't we be seeing really how kids should, like, how it's comfortable for them to hold a pen? Like, won't it help their, like, handwriting a bit more if they can write with the pen in a way that's comfortable for them? Because, like, I know that really made it harder for me to write with them constantly telling me I was holding the pen wrong. You know? Constantly being told you're doing it wrong is really taking me away from learning cursive to learn how to hold a pen was not exactly great. It's like, come on. You know? Come on. Come on, you. There we go. Oh, wait. Almost tried to take in a fourth one with it. That's funny. Come on. Sorry, taking it off screen. It's just, it's interesting that that's still the kind of thing that goes on in schools. And I feel like we should be focusing on getting children learning things instead of focusing on how they hold their pens. I don't know. That's Rissa's thoughts of the day, I guess. Especially since people in other countries hold pens in different ways. So it's just like, obviously there's not one right way to do it. But whatever. Sorry, I keep pulling it up so I can look at it a little more. So here, let's... Ugh, I don't want it to see my... I just gotta pull in a little more. I don't really want my lap in the shot, but whatever. So I can still have this in the shot when I pull it up like this. It's fine. Oh well. I mean, I guess there probably is a wrong way to eat a Reese's. Like if you blend it up or something. And I don't know. That seems wrong. Otherwise. Okay, so we're getting to these three right here at the end. Ugh, damn it. I'll deal with that in a second. So. What am I doing? I almost forgot to do that whole thing. So, what I'm going to do here, oh, bummer, pulled at that. The very last three of row 4, I'm going to go knit, purl, knit. Since we are offsetting it. Knit, purl, and knit. I mean, like, snorting a Reese's. It's not eating it, so that would be the wrong way to eat it. And there we go. So, aw, got caught. It's okay. It'll go back to normal. So, that was row 4. And now we start right back over at row 1. And it's a repeating pattern like that. After we do row 5, so row 1 again, I'm just going to keep calling them row 1 through 4. You'll be able to see the pattern a little more clearly of what makes it look like a daisy. But this is what it looks like so far. We almost got it to focus on us here, almost. It really does not like to focus on this yarn, and I don't know why. It wants to focus back down here. Come on. Come on. Nope. Come on. Come on. Maybe. Nope. It's like, nah. I'd really rather just focus on this beautiful scarf that your boyfriend's parents gave you. I'm like, thank you. It is beautiful, but it's not what I'm trying to show everyone. Let me just start right back over at row 1. So the daisy stitch is versatile. I'm working on some patterns with it. I haven't decided what I want to do. I might actually come up with a pattern for a shawl other than just a big scarf, which is basically what this one is. So reminder, row 1 aka row 5, we just are knitting all the way across again. In, around, out, and off. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. See, it's nice. 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44. Oh shoot. That was 44. 45. 46. 47. 48. 49. 50. 51. 52. 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, and that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yep. Perfect. I always say, especially if like you're new to a pattern or at the beginning of a project, always count when you can, because it definitely will help you avoid losing stitches or gaining stitches. You want to make sure, because in crochet it doesn't matter so much, but in knitting it really does. Cool. Nice. It's okay. I just spilled it on my shirt. Okay. And now we're back around at row 2. So row 2 is where we did just knit 1 and then immediately into our purl 3. So that's how I feel about it. That's how I feel about it. No, that's just the pattern, Rissa. Let's do another couple rows and then I'll be done for the night. Look at my poor thumb. It's like, no. No, Rissa. So knit one, and then remember to cross the yarn back over. There we go. There we are. Sometimes it's just too tight. No. And the knit. God, my first few projects that I actually used purling in were so full of extra extra stitches because I kept forgetting to yarn over. So that's why I'm always like, be really careful when I'm teaching people. I was also 12, but which may have had something to do with it. I knit that row too tightly. Damn. Oh well. Interesting. I love it. I really do like the daisy stitch, especially for, it's really nice on hats, in my opinion, like slouchy beanies. This is like a really jammin' song. I'm just like really jamming out to it. How you can tell that it's been, that I did it too tight, that I have to like shimmy it to get it in. Sorry, self. Okay, sorry, that was just weird for a second. Thought I had done something wrong. I had not. Just doubting myself. It's okay. It happens. harder to knit on stream than crochet on stream, I have to say. Because I just want to like bring it closer up to my face. Whereas my crochet I can keep further away from me, not even look at while I'm doing it. It's my knitting, I'm just like... It's funny. The one time they ever mention anything like actually regarding crochet or knitting in an Nancy Drew game is in Secret of Shadow Ranch. And they talk about the daisy stitch on Francis's shawl in the painting. So been wanting to do this for a while. I mean, because the daisy stitch, I love it. It's really pretty. Just wish it was easier on my hands. But did it again. They actually just had a picture of the daisy stitch on the painting. So it's just, they literally just used a picture of it. So it's just like, you know, the bare minimum. It's like, oh yes, it's been painted. It's like no painter would go in depth on what type of shawl she's wearing. No one would do the stitch. As a painter, I would not do the stitch with like oils. God. I would just vaguely be like, she's wearing something knit. Can you imagine? God. Nancy on her little cell phone though. A little brick cell phone on the internet looking up knitting stitches. Which stitch is it? It's fucking hilarious. Just imagine, like, because I remember having a cell phone around that time. Oh no, I had one way later than that, but I remember what they were like at that time, trying to get on the internet. Nancy would not have been able to do any of that quickly. I just imagine her more of just at Shadow Ranch with her little brick phone out, like trying to find a signal. It's more like it. She would not have had a signal at Shadow Ranch. Gameplay-wise, I'm glad they didn't have that be a thing on the actual ranch itself, but just out in the ghost town and shit. But still, it's just like, I know, right? I remember, well, when was it? Had to be 2008. I had one of those phones that flipped both ways. So you flipped it open the regular way, and had a regular keyboard. But you flipped it open sideways, and all the keys were on their side. And you could have it be QWERTY keyboard that way. And that was just the coolest thing in the world. And I remember one time I accidentally opened the internet on that thing, and it took us 20 minutes to get it to stop. And it ended up costing us $40. Yeah, that was the worst mistake of my life at that moment. I was like, no, I hit the wrong button. Okay, and then knit. Looking good. I think it's looking pretty nice. On to row 3, just knit all the way across again. Easy peasy. Log on to AIM. Do they even have AIM on phones? Was that a thing? I was the first person. My dad had a BlackBerry. That's not true. So I was about to say I was the first person in my family to have a smartphone, but that's not true. I had a Droid. I had the Droid 2 in 2010 for my birthday. I was so excited because it meant I could talk to all my Skype friends while I was at school. I was so excited. Remember, I literally got it so I could talk to online people while I was at school. Oh, also because the flip phone was dying. God, Motorola razors. I remember how much I wanted one. 2006, I was like, I want a Motorola razor so bad. Why did we want them? Why were they cool? Questions that I have to ask. Why were Motorola razors ever cool? Is it because they were thin? Like, is that why? Because I remember my high school boyfriend had one, and I was like, oh, so cool. Remember they broke. Remember they broke in people's pockets and stuff. Alias, that's what it was called. That's what mine was called. That opened both ways. It was so cool. I loved it. I loved that phone so much. My Droid 2 was awesome too. It was so clunky. Like now I have my Galaxy, and I'm like, this is just like a reasonable sized phone to me. It fits in my back pocket. You know, even with a case on, it's not gonna just break. My Droid 2, with a case on, it did not fit in my pocket. I could not fit it in my back pocket. I had to take the case off to fit it in my pocket. That's how chunky it was. Yeah, the Droid 2 had the physical QWERTY keyboard. It slid out. Which was great until I dropped it in mud at the beach. That wasn't so great. I dropped a lot of things in mud at the beach, though. Better than Ariana, who dropped a whole phone into the ocean at the beach. It's okay. That was in, like... God, when was that? That was after Pirates of the Caribbean movie came out. So we went to go see Pirates in the theater. Dressed up as pirates. Because of course Ariana and I had corsets and everything that were made for us by our friend's mom. And so we went and dressed up as pirates. We then went to the beach afterwards for a photo shoot because, of course, I had a camera. And so we went to the beach dressed up as pirates to go, like, be in the waves and stuff. And Ariana had put her phone right here. And she didn't think about the corset not having as much oomph as her normal bra. And so she leaned over and it just went poop right into the water. And for like 3 hours we could still call it and it would still ring through. My first phone was that Nokia brick. It was a hand-me-down that was from a hand-me-down from Ariana, and she had had it as a hand-me-down from my dad. Amazing. Not everyone's first phone was the Nokia brick. I know a lot of people who did not get a phone until after because their parents didn't let them. Well, I have a lot of friends like my age who just weren't allowed to get phones until they were like 18. So they just didn't ever hit that Nokia brick zone. I have kids in my classes. I teach preschoolers through elementary schoolers, and I have some of them have iPhones. And I'm like, okay, sure. Maybe like really old generation iPhones? No, some of them have iPhone 10s. I'm like, I'm sorry, an 8-year-old does not need a $1,000 phone. Maybe that's just I just cannot think of a reason why an 8-year-old would need a phone that costs $1,000. And they'll look at my phone because I'll bring it out to play the music on. And they're like, what kind of phone do you have? And they'll start asking me questions about my phone. And I'm like, why does it matter? Yeah, I don't know what they're gonna need. They need it so they can play Fortnite. Because if they have a bad phone, they're gonna lose at Fortnite. Their phone is too slow. Legit, that's what they tell me. They have to have fast phones so they can play Fortnite. And I'm like, okay. I wish kids would be playing more Minecraft again. I really wish Minecraft was still the big thing for kids that age, instead of Fortnite. Minecraft is wholesome, comparatively speaking. You know, it's not about killing each other, it's just about building things. I had a kindergartner telling me that she always wins at Fortnite. And that was so adorable to me. Okay, so row 4. That's where we do our offset. So we do our knit one, then purl one. Then we start for real with our knit one. And then purl 3 together. Maybe now is the time for kids to get back, for adults to get back into Minecraft. No kids to bother us. all of us just leave Fortnite to the kids. The kids would have more enjoyment if there were no racist adults in Fortnite, I have to say. Teaching them slurs. You know. It's like my least favorite part about teaching elementary schoolers is that the ones that obviously like spend too much time like gaming and stuff, because they have that like I have to make fun of everyone else for doing something kind of thing that comes from being in some sort of like voice chat all the time. That always makes me sad. You know? You know. You blame Halo for that kind of culture. Call of Duty, maybe? I don't know. But definitely, it just makes me sad. Because it's just like these kids then obviously hear it a lot. So if they're being yelled at for losing and stuff and being bad at things, they do it to people afterwards. And I'm like, aw, that's so sad. You know?
Pulling up my sheets, feeling underneath. Same thing gives me fright. No better than the beast hiding underneath. It's you, hiding from the freak. You are next to me. It's you. Same thing every week, hiding underneath.
It's nice to see that video games are now in the mainstream so kids don't get made fun of for playing them now. I'm glad about that. Now it's just that they're expected to just be really good at all of it. They're expected to play all of it and to own all of it. And like, kids will ask me, like, do you play Fortnite? And I'm like, no. They're like, well, why not? And I was like, because I don't enjoy that kind of game. And they're like, well, why not? It's fun. And I was like, it's not my kind of game. They're like, do you play video games? And I was like, yeah. They just excited. They're like, do you know the Fortnite dances? And I'm like, yes, but they're not the Fortnite dances. But it's really fun teaching an entire group of preschoolers to do the floss. That is really funny. I don't call children losers, Al. I just imply that they're losers. Maybe that's why they don't want me at that preschool anymore. If I do more of these on this channel, I'm wondering if I even want to have the VODs up on our YouTube. Or if I want to make it a Patreon thing. I don't think kids care about Mario 64. And it would be a lie, because I've never played Mario 64. I should tell them I do speedrunning. one Nancy Drew game. Yeah, I do speedrunning a single point-and-click adventure game that's really easy. Why are you children not impressed? I did tell one child once when I was working at the gym childcare area. I was helping him set up Minecraft on the Xbox. And he's like, how do you know how to play Minecraft? And I was like, oh kid, I was playing Minecraft while it was before it even came out. And he was like, what? I was like, I've been playing Minecraft since it just came out of alpha. And he was like, you're old. And I was like, tell me about it, kid. So that's the way to make kids. By the way, the world record of Freddy Fish and the Missing Kelp Seeds is 41 seconds. They left Gabby to die. Apparently, the way to do that is you have to just keep restarting until you get the specific clues that you need. Otherwise, it's just not worth it. I'm like, okay. Ah, shoot. Rissa. That was silly. See? Well, it's the first time I've done it. There we go. Let's try that again. First time I've done it this time, though. That I've noticed, at least. Oh, shoot. Not a fan of these children. That's why I just now lie to children and tell them I'm 500 million years old when they ask me how old I am. Because otherwise they're assholes about it. You know? And then they get mad at me. They're like, you're lying. And I was like, you can't prove that. They're like, but you'd be dead if you were that old. And I was like, who's to say I'm not? And then they get weirded out. And then I had one child, one little girl, go like, if then you'd be a ghost. And I was like, who says I'm not? So she just reached out and grabbed my boobs. She was like, nope, you're real. And I was like, no. I wanted to crack up because, like, infallible logic right there. But at the same time, you are 6 and you just committed, like, you just sexually assaulted me, child. So I had to not laugh. Just always the worst thing that happens in those moments where you're like, I would like to laugh, but I cannot. Otherwise, you will think it's okay to do again. You know? Keep doing this where I bring it too far up so I can look at it. Almost done with this row, and then we did 2 whole cycles of it. Apparently I messed up a little bit in here somehow, but I have the right amount of stitches, so who cares? Come on. There we go. Yeah, she could have just poked me somewhere, but no, she went straight for the boob grab. So her mom came in afterwards, and I was like, she groped me. And her mom was like, what? And I was like, yeah. Yeah. It's like I told her that was inappropriate, and we should not do that again. I was like, you know. So maybe we should not do that again. She's like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. Like, you know, please. I have to tell her mom. Just to make sure it never happens again. But all the other kids in the class were just like, oh, you're not supposed to do that. I was like, I'm glad everyone understands this. And we know that this is not a thing we're supposed to do. Appreciated. Half of them don't even remember my name anyway. It's hilarious. I'm Miss Dance Teacher. Mrs. Ballet. I like that one because it implies that I'm married to ballet, which amuses me. I had one kid, well, two brothers who call me Miss R, which is cute, except that those are two demon children. Well, the younger brother isn't quite a demon child. He's adorable. But still. They still see me in the hallways, so they go, hi, Miss R. I'm like, hey. How's it going? You're not in my class anymore. I don't have to care. But I don't say that, because that would be bad. And I'm a good teacher. Probably. Just a dance teacher. Doesn't matter. Not all children are demons. Just a lot of them. No, 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 no. Really? There we go. Okay. It's fine. Put it back on. Sometimes metal needles are dangerous because of that. Okay. We completed 2 iterations of the pattern. So we did 8 rows in the last hour, a little over an hour. And that is what the daisy stitch looks like when you do a couple of it. It looks just like it does on Frances Humber's shawl blanket thing. So, yeah, that was this stream, my granny corner. And I'll decide whether or not I want to put this up on YouTube or not. Or not. I already said or not in that sentence. It's fine. So, tomorrow, we'll see how Ariana feels. I don't think she'll feel better, though. I think she's got a migraine, and hers usually lasts several days. So, if I come back tomorrow, I'll either be doing more of this, or maybe we'll play some Sims, or maybe I'll speedrun something. I don't know. I've been wondering if I want to try some whatchamacallit, Tomb of the Lost Queen, because that one apparently can be done in 30 minutes. So I can probably get it done in an hour. So, yeah. But yeah, that was pretty happy about what we got done today. That and some of the other stuff. No, I'm not going to do another small children's game. But thank y'all for coming out, and peace out, y'all.